The first person, Chiji, please.
Thank you very much. I wanted to find out how long has this systematic killing of Igbos and Eastern Nigerians been taking place?
Since after the war, we know that Igbos have been marginalized, but we were not losing our lives. The Igbos were not losing their lives. They were not being killed indiscriminately until Buhari and APC came to power. That is when all the killing started. That is when we had Python dance. That is when we had unknown gunmen. All this emboldened and empowered other criminals to join in some for their own benefit, some are contract killers, some government sponsored killers. So this started since APC and Buhari came to power. And it's so unfortunate and it's so selfish that the Yorubas are allowed to form a Amotekun to protect their land. As I observed 2 days ago, Adeleke, when the more recruitment, they allowed to have their own security outfit within their own influence. But the Igbo politicians, governors and all that, have failed to set up something that sincerely will protect their people. Instead, our own people attack terrorists. Whatever Igbo man did, he's a terrorist. He's been eliminated. He's been killed. He's been just extrajudicial killing everywhere. There is never conviction obtained against any person labeled IPOB. There have been no successful conviction. They arrest people, they kill. They never taken anyone before the court to prove their offense against them. It never happened. All the killing had been in secret and extrajudiciary without any consequences. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to quickly add. Recently, Patrick is right to say, from 2015, and you could see also the attack from the real terrorists, the Fulani headers, attacking farmers in the farm, attacking communities. You've seen in the Heamufu and many other communities where people are killed, children, women, and the whole community is chased out. But before that, even before the war, we talked about the pogroms, and we saw what happened with the latest book by the former president Babangida, now saying that the 1966 coup is no longer an Igbo coup. It's no longer an Igbo coup. But under that pretext, just like they're using IPOB, ESN as pretext to slaughter thousands of our people, they use that as pretext also to kill hundreds of thousands of our people in the north during the pogroms. So the killing of Igbo has become, just like one of the Observer reporters put it in 1963 or in 1967 or so, that the killing of Igbos have become an industry in Nigeria. So the current wave we are seeing is also similar to the wave we saw in the 60s. So this has continued unabated from 1966. Thank you very much. We go to Mr. Stephen.
My question is this: is inter-society alleging ethnic or religious motivations or correlations to these killings, or is it just civil conflict between herders and farmers, as we have been reading in some publications in Nigeria?
Yes, there are allegations of ethnic and religious coloration to it. So keep in mind that there is active plan by the Fulanis who dominate the political space to Islamize the southeast region or the entire Nigeria. So the plan to annex the entire eastern region is religious, as the Islamic North have continued to wage their jihad, which Usman Danfodio started in the 18th century, to dip the Quran into the sea. They've continued to wage that war. And when Buhari came to power, as Patrick rightly said, he armed and emboldened those people. They were carrying automatic weapons and displacing people in the farms, taking over their farm, and not one has been tried or jailed for those crimes. And so that emboldened them. So there's that religious coloration to it, and also an ethnic coloration to it, that everybody of the southeast, old eastern Nigeria, seen as an Igbo, is marked out for elimination. Especially when the agitation, because of all the marginalization and subjugation, and our youth are saying no to those marginalization, and they start agitating for their own country. So all the military people and the police out on the streets were out to eliminate them without, giving them fair trials. So there is evidence in this report of religious and ethnic coloration to that.
Yeah, to add to what my friend had just said, I also, to me, I think, yes, it had religious and ethnic coloration, but again, it also has a political dimension, because you cannot, as is happening in the Benue State, in the Middle Belt, you cannot come to someone's land, kill them up, sit there, in their dead body, you sit there, you take them over, and someone will say it's a clash between farmers and herders. It is not a clash between farmers. I'm in my property. You came, attack me, and take over my property and rename it to a different name. And someone saying it's farmers and herders clash. That is absolutely nonsense. So there is a political dimension of trying to take over land and hand it to those it doesn't belong to. The indigenous people, the aboriginals, take the land from them. And it's not stopping in the middle belt. It's also going towards the east and all that. It's open secret that within Imo State and other part of Igbo land has got the highest deposit of gas in the world. And there have been rumors that some of this plan is to eliminate people in those locations so that these resources could be siphoned and taken to development of other areas. You ask yourself, how many gas turbine industries have they set up in the east? But pipes have been laid from east to local Abuja, Kaduna, every gas, taking out gases for industrial development outside Igbo land, but none in Igbo land. So these are some of the things that fall fuel these killings. They are being, coming from different dimensions. So some of them both foreign interests, also some of them local interests. So that's what.
So a mixture of all of them. You're saying political, religious, and ethnic. So we go to Nabri.
My name is Nabrikan Nadede. I have read several publications alleging the systematic program of forced Islamization of people of Eastern Nigeria who are overwhelmingly Christians by the government dominated by the Muslims. I really want to know if this presentation of evidence in such Islamization program.
Not specifically. We have not read the details, but from the research methodology that they followed, it seems to be mostly political, like hiding under the pretext of young people agitating for freedom and self-determination to attack them, Nigerian security forces to attack them and kill them, detain them indefinitely. A lot of them disappearing. That is mostly where the report has focused on. There is also a mention of the activities of the Fulani headsmen, who are actually terrorists, operating in the east. Activities of those. We are also aware of active plan of Fulani jihadists to Islamize the entire country. So remember the conquest that they started under Usman Danfodio, that was stopped roundabout somewhere in Ilori, in Yoruba land, and Igbo land has never been conquered. The whole of the southeast has never been conquered. So we still live under that fear, or under that consciousness that that quote by Usman Danfodio, that once the British leave the shores of Nigeria, that they will continue their interrupted conquest to the sea. So from the activities of Fulani headsmen, how they are chasing our communities on the borders in Enugu State, coming down to Abia State, establishing centers all over Imo State and every part, and even in Ikwere land, is happening, in the south. As they are coming down with trucks, we've seen evidence of them coming down with trucks with arms, especially during Buhari's regime. They were carrying AK-47s and they were not being arrested coming down south. So these are evidence that the report actually touched on, that did not arrive at that conclusion of Islamization, but the evidence is actually there, that we have to be careful. And that's why we are asking the international community, because the Nigerian government is not going to protect us. Millions have died. They will not protect us. So we're asking the whole world to come to our aid and to listen to what is happening to us.
Yes, as I said, the book, although we haven't digested everything there, but the book was purposely produced to give information about, killing in Igbo land. Having said that, we all has got one form of experience or knowledge or so about Islamization in Nigeria. Nigeria is a secular state where everyone within the constitution is allowed to practice their religion. No one is against that. There's Christians in the north. There are Christian schools and churches in the north. We accept that. But these are institutions also set up by people, and they did it legitimately without any political undertones. But where you come to a situation where government is sponsoring the setting up, building of mosques in places. Like, for example, in Abakaliki now, the biggest mosque in Nigeria is in Abakaliki. And they are doing this. Even Imo State governor sponsoring people going to Mecca, jihad and all that. Which we feel that, although they say they're also sponsoring Christians also, but religion is a personal, this one that people should be allowed to practice their religion. If you want to go Mecca at your own expenses. If you want to go to Jerusalem at your own expenses. Government should not budget money to give people free to go to Mecca or Jerusalem and all that, whereas people are dying of hunger in Nigeria. So we know this, the sponsoring of Christians also is just like to try to cover up, but we know that there is a very, very consistent intention of the Islamic world to turn Nigeria into, this. Babangida was the first to put Nigeria into OIC, isn't it? Which we are still there today. So my point is this: Nigeria is a secular state, and the government should allow it to be so. Okay. Anyone should practice what they want to practice without intervention of the government sponsoring certain religion against the other.
Okay. Take another question, 2 more questions. Yeah. The young man at the back.
Has the information in this document made apparent to the Western Federation in Nigeria? And if so, what's the Nigerian government doing to protect the people of Eastern Nigeria?
Thank you very much for that. Yes, this report has been made available to a number of elected representatives, senators and House of Representatives members, and some religious leaders. So the federal government of Nigeria is aware of it. When the report came out, the links went viral, and they are very much aware of this. Sadly, they are doing absolutely nothing about it. It is indefensible that a report of heinous crimes being committed against some people within the country was released, well researched, and the federal government, whose first duty is to protect lives and property of her people, have done absolutely nothing about it. Rather, from the time these reports came out in December till date, more of these atrocities have taken place. Especially the crimes on the roadblocks, the extortions, the harassments, the killings by police and army officers at roadblocks have continued unabated. So they've done absolutely nothing to stop it. That's what we are saying. That if a country's government have failed in their number one responsibility of protecting the lives and property of their people, then the international community has the right to intervene. And that is where we are. That is why we are putting this information out to the world, that the people of Eastern Nigeria are facing crimes against humanity from their own government forces. And that's why the entire world needs to know about it. Because the very government that is meant to protect them have failed in their responsibility to protect them.
Yes, look at what happened in Uromi recently, where they killed those who are carrying ammunitions. So, I must condemn the killing of people without giving them fair hearing. Take them to court. Let them defend themselves. However, those killings, those people were, failed their own government. Because in Uromi, They have been killing as in other places, in their farm. They don't go to farms anymore. They saw people armed with lots of ammunition, say they are hunters. Which meat did they kill? Did you see them with grass cutter? Did you see them with antelope? Did you see them with ele or whatever? Have you seen a Fulani man selling antelope along the road that he killed antelope?
Never.
Have you seen a Fulani man selling whatever grass cutter on the road that he killed grass cutter? And coupled with the fact that during Buhari government, he made carrying of arms illegal and made everyone to submit their guns for destruction.
It allowed the Fulanis.
So why are those people going around with lots of arms, whereas most of the kidnapping and killing in the farms and all that are armed people? So government should take responsibility for those people that were killed in Urum, because government failed to provide security for the people. Therefore, people are taking it upon themselves to defend themselves.
Thank you very much. And we take a final question because of time.
Yeah, that brings me to, with all this report, that is to ask the question now, are the people of Eastern extraction, mainly the Igbos, and how are they reacting to this harming happening? How are they reacting to it? To the killings? This systematic killings, how are they reacting to it?
That's a good question. What I would say to that is there is palpable fear among the population, and rightly so. People are afraid. People do not trust the government to protect them. The same military formations, like when my friend was speaking, he talked about the prison break in Owerri, which was a few kilometers away from a major military formation. And right behind the prison was the police headquarters. And yet, that went on for hours, and there was no security. And these criminals were deliberately released into the society. And what happened immediately after? Yeah. You started seeing unknown gunmen, people being shot and killed. Igbo land was being drenched in blood. People were being murdered, slaughtered by the same authority that they put their trust in to protect them. So there is fear in the land. People do not want to speak. They do not want to come out and agitate and exercise their God-given freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to protest, even with the hunger, the unspeakable hardship in the land, the no jobs in the southeast for the young people. People have sort of taken it as their fate in life. They've accepted, it's just like the sheep that is taken to the slaughter. They've accepted that this is inevitable for them. So people are afraid. People feel intimidated by the militarization of the whole southeast. Every mile you go to, there's a police checkpoint. Local roads, highways, everywhere, inside our towns and villages, everywhere. There's armed police, armed military officers. So people are afraid. They don't want, they see these killings on the streets, people murdered, and nothing happens. And what they're saying is, if you die today, nothing will happen. Because those thousands that have been killed have never gotten justice. Nobody gets justice in Nigeria. Especially if you are from the southeast. And there's no discrimination between Igbo, Ijaw, Opobo, Isoko, Ibanke, anywhere you are, we are the same people. We are the same people. You get the same treatment. Whether you are in your homeland or you are trading, doing business in the north or in Lagos, you are treated the same way. They burn your property, they burn your business, they kill you. Just because you are from the old eastern region of Nigeria. So people are afraid. Our people need help. We need to be rescued. We need to come together. The Igbos and Biafrans, especially in diaspora, need to come together now. We need to come together and put our heads together, put our minds together, put our intellects together, and save our land and save our people. We are not going to die in exile. We are not going to remain in exile forever. The people at home are weak and tired. They've been subjugated. They are afraid. They are dying on a daily basis. And nobody does nothing about it. They haven't got the power. Everything is taken away from them. They don't have jobs. They don't go to schools. They score high to gain admission. Somebody from the north goes in ahead of them who didn't score anywhere near their score. And so, we need help. Our people need to come together here and approach the international community with these facts. If this continues, we will be exterminated in time. This is crime against an ethnic group and it's genocide going on right before our eyes. This press conference. I think it's necessary to make that appeal to our people. If you're watching this wherever you are, whether in the UK or anywhere else in diaspora, we are a people marked for extinction. Our people are helpless. We cannot continue to remain complacent. If we do, we will not have a land to go back to. Our children will not have a land to go back to. Their children will not have a land to go back to. We need to come together. This is the time to pull together very quickly now to rescue our land, to save our land for future generations. We cannot trust the politicians that we have now. They are all compromised. They are all looking for their own benefit. Their children don't have jobs. The Fulanis are all over the place, killing our people. The government has organized forces continuing to kill our people who have chosen to agitate for their own freedom. Their right to agitate freely and non-violently has been violated. And there is nowhere to run to. So we cannot continue to live in the comforts of the diaspora, whether we're in the UK or in America or anywhere else that is safe. Remember the Jews, what they did. They had to go back and build their homeland and to build a security network to protect their homeland. We have to do the same. We are strangers in everywhere we are. We have a land that has been given to us by God. And if we don't stand up and protect it and build it up, and then future generation will have nowhere to go back to. So we put all our differences apart. We put all our egos apart, and we come together. And we raise the resources that we need. And we bring our brain power that we need to rescue this situation. It is a job that must be done. And it's a job that we can do. We cannot continue to lie back and watch these atrocities happen against our people. We must rise and build the Igbo nation. And we must rise and build the Biafra nation to protect us from extermination and to give our children future, a better future, where they will have opportunity, where there is economic development, where we have the power to unleash our God-given ingenuity. A lot of things we can do in science, in technology, in AI, but we're being held down. But those of us outside the country have got the power, we've got the opportunity to change this. And we have to put every difference aside. We have to put every little pleasure aside and come together and bring that little thing that we have together, so that together we can build our own nation that we can be proud of. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.